Hello, thanks for joining me, my fellow galactic citizens. Take a second to ask you to look down there and hit that subscribe, ding the bell for me. It helps me out a lot, you know it does. I want to tell you the story today about my abduction scenario. Got to tell you right off the bat, it happened, it's real. It's not like this other stuff we talk about on the channel where we don't know if it's real. The facts I'm going to tell you really happened. It was my family, my immediate family, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, my two sisters and I. This would have been back in 1965, 1966, and we were driving from Dunbar, West Virginia to Melbourne, Florida. Well, right by the Cape, right by where NASA is. Cape Canaveral is what they called it. So that was a long time ago. So we're driving a station wagon. Some of you youngsters may not know it's what we had before SUVs. Like Chevy Chase in Vacation. You know, the one where they're driving to Wally World. Anyway, we had one of those, and we were going to, I guess, try to drive straight through like a lot of people did back in those days to avoid having to pay for a motel. And that's how we ended up on a interstate detour somewhere in the backwoods of Georgia, close to Atlanta. Well, it wasn't that close to Atlanta. We were just going through Atlanta or Georgia to get to Florida. So we're driving. Everything's normal. The adults are talking normal stuff. I guess it's about 11:30 p.m. And the kids, me and my big sister, are looking out the windows, you know, looking at the sky and the road and the hills. So, you know, we were trying not to be bored, like I am right now. And, you know, we noticed that on one side, light, well, we were going, I guess I should tell you, we were going down a kind of a valley thing on a gravel road detoured from the main interstate. So we had a hill over here and a hill over here, and we could see the top of the hill. So as we drive, we're looking, you know, looking at the shadow of the trees and whatnot. And I guess it was my big sister that noticed first. She said, "That star looks like it's traveling beside us," which isn't possible. So I didn't believe it was true, and I looked out the window, and I guess some of the adults did too. And the first one I looked at is really what caught my attention. I'm not saying I was super traumatized over it, but I realized right then something wasn't right, because this was simply a ball of light, and above the treetop, following would have been our left, following along with us, and I could see the stars behind it, moving behind it, and I could see that it was above trees and that the trees were moving with the light. So I knew it was following us. It was pretty much matching our speed, and that was freaky, until we noticed there was one on the other side as well. And then it became uncomfortable. Even for me. I guess I was about 6 or so at the time. My little sister is in the back seat with my mom and my grandmother. And that's where she was at, because she was kind of younger. She was like 3. And everybody is wondering what the heck's going on at this point, because that's not normal. And then I noticed in the back a light drop down. I saw it drop down and stop just above the road. It wasn't all that far back, maybe 200 or 300 yards, and it started following us. So now we got these lights on each side and one in the back, and the one in the back's getting closer. That's the most traumatizing thing about this, is that light getting closer and closer from behind. And as we're going, and this is what's going on, a light drops down in front of us. And that's when I lost consciousness. That's the last thing I remember before waking up, still in the back of the station wagon. Dad's driving fast. I can hear gravel being thrown up into the wheel well, so you know he's going pretty fast, bouncing off the car as he drives. Dust everywhere behind us. Can't even see the road behind us. And he's driving fast. My mom is having I don't want to say a nervous breakdown, but she was really upset, and we all were. So my mom's trying to calm her down. My grandfather takes the gun out of the glove box. He's got that. My dad's not answering anybody. He's just driving like a madman. So I was a little upset, not understanding. Nothing like that ever happened before. So that was my first really traumatizing, what the heck, totally out of control situation. A lot like what we're going through right now. And I didn't have facts. I didn't know what was going on. Again, very similar. So we drive on, we keep driving, trying to get off that road back to the main highway where we weren't in the woods. And from behind us, another car comes flying through there. We were already almost losing traction, and he just flies around us like crazy, spinning, throwing gravel, throwing dust up. He was in a bigger hurry than we were. So I don't know what his hurry was or what he saw or what happened to him, if it was a him, whoever was in the car. So, we just proceed. And I remember getting on a regular highway and stopping at the next diner. So we went in there and started talking. And turns out, listening to the adults talk, that we had almost an hour of missing time. So I don't know what happened in that hour. I did not see any aliens. I did not see a spaceship per se. I simply saw the lights. I mean, I want to believe, but I'm scientific enough to work with facts. If I don't have facts, if I can't understand it, I'm a lot less likely to believe it. So I'm suggesting maybe it was a scenario where we could have been abducted. Nothing ever came from it after that. I've seen lights in the sky since then, but I've never had a situation quite like that to where I thought that I had missing time. Missing time's a weird thing. I didn't feel it then because I was 6. I didn't know, but my grandmother told me various times before she passed on, and she was a believer. She thought that something like that happened. Again, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. If you will, subscribe, ding the bell. It helps me more than you know. I guess I'll see you guys next time. I'm trying to think of what to do. Leave me a comment about a video that you want to see and at least get my take on it. And I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Thanks again.